Good afternoon and welcome to the Tuesday afternoon, Monday morning memo. For the very ever first time, I have a guest co-host today, Linda Forbes, who is our education guru here at RE/MAX Integrity. So we're going to ask her a couple questions. But first, we just need to cover the birthdays. We have one birthday this week, and it is Linda Forbes. I didn't know that until I went to sit down. Happy birthday, rah, 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 rah. And Linda Downing has been with us for 4 years come this Saturday. So thank you very much, Linda. Both Lindas. It's Linda week.
It is.
A 30th birthday and a 4-year anniversary all in one. So anyway, what I talked about in my email yesterday, I wanted to share a little bit of information, which I have asked Linda to come along. This video is going to go a little longer than they usually do, but do watch it because there's some great information. What I want to talk to Linda about was the continuing education system for the Oregon Real Estate Agency. It's changing as of January 1st, and Linda was on the committee with the agency to change the rules. So the good ones that you like, Linda was in charge of. Yes. The bad ones you didn't like, she got outvoted on. Yeah. Is that how it works?
That's how it works.
So starting next year, calendar year 2011,
yes,
there's no electives and core credit hours. They're all core.
They're all going to be 30 core credits.
Okay, 30 core credits. So right now we do 15 core and 15 electives. Yes. Starting January 1st, anybody renewing after January 1st, they have to have 30 core, kind of.
Well, there's an exception because we have a time frame there. So if these people in November, well actually, anytime after November 31st of this year, they still get to carry over those elective hours. But once they renew, let's say they had to renew this January.
January of 11.
January 11th, then they will have to do 30 core credits for their renewal the next time around. But those that are coming through that can use their electives. They'll have to have the 15 core, and also the agency has determined that there should be a 3-hour law and update, that outline is being put together by the Real Estate Agency Board. And then everyone, whether someone had 15 January 11th, they must include the 3-hour law and update. And they will be starting that in about November so that people will have an opportunity.
Okay, so let me make sure we understand this. So even though January 11th they're starting to require 30 hours of core, not really, because you get kind of a freebie renewal. So really, if you renewed in March of 11, you'd have to have 15 core, 15 broker-approved elective, just like under the old system.
Right.
But then when you renew in 13 for that person. So really, anybody renewing in 11 or 12 is still kind of renewing under the old rules.
They are, with the exception of that 3-hour.
Okay, and that 3-hour rule and law update that the agency's determined, here's what should be in there, and we'll talk about who's going to teach in a second. That will be from January of 11, every 2 years when you renew, you will have to take the rule and law update. And so that's going to change. Like we have advanced practices for folks when they do their first renewal, but the rule and law update, as I understand it, is a way for the agency to kind of get new information into
for everyone.
Older brains.
Right. And they always have changes happening in legislation. So that's one of the main things that they're going to be bringing up. Every time that there's been a change, that'll be a part of the class. And that 3 hours will also be a part of advanced practices. So people that have to take that to get their first license renewal, they will be getting that 3 hours within the curriculum of the advanced practices.
Okay, so moving forward, everyone's ready to renew on the new system because you're kind of grandfathered in for that first renewal, except for you do have to take the rule and law update.
Right.
So if I expire and have to renew on January 1st, I'm good with the 15 hours that I had and the 15 core, but I am going to have to take, before January 1st, my renewal, that 3-hour law update. And that's the one you said the curriculum's coming out and it'll be ready in November for...
Well, it'll be out probably by September. Okay. They are working on it right now, and then certified instructors will be able to do that under providers.
Okay. And so certified instructors, now this is a little bit different. It used to be up until now anybody could teach a class if the broker said it was, and it was principal broker, then it was, and it's been kind of a joke. So now they'll be certified instructors, but there's also education providers. So for instance, RE/MAX Integrity, our office is a certified education provider. Our real estate school, Careers Real Estate School, is not only a certified education provider, but because we're licensed through the Department of Education. So we're a provider, so our agents can take the class, whether it's the rule and law update from you who teaches it, or if I taught it or whatever, just like before. So it isn't like to get continuing education, like in Washington, I know it's very strict and you go to certain centers and stuff. You can still get continuing education through your brokerage, maybe even the title company if they are approved provider. And the classes that fall under that are core, now 30 hours of core, my understanding is the state's given us a list and said, okay, as long as they're on this list and they meet these learning objectives, they're good. So if we had one of the core credits, I believe, is finance. So if we had somebody who wanted to come in and give a talk on short sales as the education provider, RE/MAX, we could say, yeah, we'll let Joe from Vancouver come down because it meets these learning objectives. We certify and say, yep, it's okay, that's a core requirement. Okay. And a huge change, and this is probably the biggest one for the agents, is the agents, the brokers, not the principal brokers, the brokers will self-certify their education now. So when, starting in January 11th, the only way you'll be able to renew your license is online. And the agent fills out a form that specifies all the education classes they went to. There's a class number, and then the state will be able to have a audit trail, if you will. So if Harry says, I went to this class on 12/26 that RE/MAX Integrity was given, RE/MAX Integrity, the course provider, correct me if I'm wrong, we had to turn in a list to the state that said Harry was there, so they match Harry's records up to our records. So to be a course provider isn't just, come on in and take a thing on your way out. We now have to report those, and we're all set up at the office to do that now.
Yes, absolutely.
But then the agents self-certify and keep the records, because when the real estate agency, this is after January of 11, if the real estate agency comes back and says, hey, we want to see Harry's records to see if he did it, they don't come to the principal broker because the principal broker doesn't certify him anymore. The agents certify him directly.
That's right. So Harry has to talk face-to-face with them and show evidence of that, yes, I have a certificate, here's the provider, the provider number, this course, and the course number. And
of course, while the state mandates that, we're still available. We'll still be reminding our agents when your license renewals. We'll still help you, get the education. It's not like you're out on your own. But that is important, because previously the principal broker had to keep the records, and now the agents have to. The brokers have to. You do as agents, so that's going to be important.
We can still use everything that we have been using. We have available to our agents core credit booklets. Those
They're
are
short.
still
2 hours.
but they still work. So we can.
So the good news is, when an agent's going to renew at 5 minutes before the last day of the month when it needs postmarks, they don't have to chase the principal broker now down. Now they can go.
They don't. They just have to make sure they can get online and that they're getting right there at the last minute.
So if anybody's got questions, they can buzz you at extension 1212.
Yes.
Or email you at
Linda Forbes. RE/MAX.net.
I was going to say there's more to. You're famous, but I know you have to have it. So Linda Forbes at RE/MAX.net.
Well,
so,
I was just trying to remember what it was.
I should have prompted you on that one. Okay, so that's all we've got, and we'll have some information out in writing, some Q&A and that type of things. We just wanted to kind of give everybody a heads up, because I know there's a little anxiety, those people renewing the first quarter next year, but Linda can answer all your questions. So have a great day. Thanks, Linda. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.